Welcome, fellow wanderers, to a deep dive into this enigmatic world of Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima's masterpiece in a tapestry woven with strands of mystery and existentialism and the human connection. In this analysis, we'll embark on a journey across the fractured landscapes of the post-apocalyptic America, unraveling the intricate threads that bind the narrative's gameplay and symbolism. Join me as we explore the metaphysical question posed by Death Stranding, dissect its intricate lore, and attempt to decode the cryptic messages Kojima has crafted within the hauntingly beautiful and hauntingly perplexed universe. So grab your bridge, baby, don your bridge's suit, and let's venture into the realms of life and death and everything in between.
Well, ain't that something? Was it you, Higgs? Huh? Was it you that killed Lou? You still don't know, do you?
The sequel to Death Stranding is shaping up to be just as strange as the original. At its State of Play showcase, Sony showed off a new trailer for the game that starts out with a particularly disturbing bit of surgery. The lengthened clip features a whole bunch of new locations outside the US, as well as the return of a villain, Higgs, who has been given a Joker-esque makeover. And yes, the baby makes an appearance along with a new talking doll. The sequel also has an official title now, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. It's due to launch in 2025, and here's the premise. Death Stranding 2 was first unveiled at the Game Awards back in 2022, and is coming to PS5 at the least at launch. The original is made in its way to the PC and iPhone eventually. For Death Stranding 2, it's most likely it's going to follow suit from the first game before eventually being released on PC, so for you PC users, unfortunately you might just have to wait a bit longer. Death Stranding once again boasts an all-out star cast of Hollywood and games industry acting talent, including Norman Reedus, Léa Seydoux, Ellie Fanning, Shiloh Kusana, and Troy Baker. Also in Death Stranding 2 will feature Mad Max director George Miller in a prominent role. Hideo Kojima is one of the most unique minds in gaming. He's also one of the few singular people that is recognised for his games. A lot of video games are credited to an entire studio and team, and rightfully so. But Hideo Kojima, however, is viewed almost in the same way as a movie director, where his incredible original visions are so distinctively his. Death Stranding 2 will see some non-actors as well. Kojima may be including Mad Max director George Miller in Death Stranding 2 in what appears to be a significant role as an ally to Sam Bridges. However, based on credits in the trailer, George Miller is simply lending his likeness and won't be actually be doing the performance himself. The actual performance will be done by Marty Rohn. Hideo Kojima did a similar thing with director Guillermo del Toro in the first Death Stranding, using his likeness but replacing his voice with someone else's. Noticeably at the beginning of the trailer, we can see what some kind of surgery is being performed on the particular person. We don't know exactly who it is at the minute, but we do know that this black tar-like substance, which in Death Stranding is referred to as the Chiral, and the phenomena associated with it is often called tar or timefall. Chiral is a fictional element with unique properties that play a significant role in the game's narrative. Timefall. Chiral is responsible for the mysterious rainfall known as timefall. When timefall occurs, it accelerates the aging process, anything that it touches rapidly and aging and deteriorating organic and inorganic matter. We can see whoever this individual is doesn't seem to be affected by the aging properties of timefall, because as when fragile actually gets a bit on her skin, we can see that it significantly ages her hand. Strangely enough, this person seems like they're connected to the Chiral somehow, almost like if it's a part of them. Death Stranding, there are individuals who exhibit a resistance or immunity to the detrimental effects of Chiral and timefall. The most notable character in this regard is Sam Bridges, the protagonist portrayed by Norman Reedus. Sam also has a condition known as Dooms, which grants him certain abilities and a level of resistance to the harmful effects of Chiral. We know that Chiral is linked to the appearance of otherworldly entities known as BTs. These ghostly beings are stranded between the world of the living and the afterlife. Chiral is the substance that connects the world of the living and the world of the dead, and the BTs are attracted to it. Hence why we see here that she seems to be covered within Chiral and this black tar. We can see at the very beginning that it seems like this guy is using some kind of Chirillium to open up the very coffin in which this body is being kept in. As mentioned, the Chirillium is actually a connecting path, a conduit between the living and the dead. Kind of like the connecting path that allows the dead to physically be able to interact with the real world environment. Guess is as good as yours, but my theory is that this character on the table is actually Louise, and she's been worked on after being supposedly found dead, is actually alive and being brought back to life. So way back in 2022, some of you guys may remember the Death Stranding 2 trailer that got released, where we could actually see Lou alive and well and more than happy. But then it appears that Fragile senses some incoming danger, no doubt for those who wish to retrieve Lou to use her for her unique abilities, no doubt. Whilst Fragile seems to be making her escape, she ends up crashing on the bike, and we noticeably see what appears to be a dead Lou on the floor. One can only imagine that she's had her body recovered and put within this coffin and mysteriously worked on, hence why they are so shocked within the Death Stranding 2 trailer to see that she's alive and reactive, considering that she was meant to be dead.
Ain't that something? Was it you, Higgs? Huh? Was it you that killed Lou? You still don't know, do you?
We know that good old Sam is come out of retirement, and he's definitely got a lot more older this time, as we can see the grey in his hair, so we know that a few years have passed since then. No doubt definitely wants to get involved to find out what happened to Lou. It's Hideo Kojima, so we know that we're going to be misled in every direction, because the writing will be so ambiguous. The one thing is it seems for certain is that Sam is pretty sure that Higgs has something to do with the likes of Lou potentially being dead.
Welcome to Drawbridge, Sam, and to the G8V Magellan, our mobile base of operations. Come on, I'll help you get your bearings. This is the ship's armory. Here you can check your weapons and put them through their paces. These rooms over here belong to other members of the crew. They're pretty much the same as yours. And the shower's down at the end.
This is one hell of a ship you got here.
I don't know about you guys, but this is giving me goosebumps. It just reminds me of something like Metal Gear Solid 5, where we can actually upgrade our weapons. We're actually in our own base of operations now. As you might have overheard, we are no longer part of Bridges. We're actually part of a newly formed organisation called Drawbridge, which no doubt shares the same similar goals and path to follow the likes of Bridges, be able to unify and connect the world. So it appears that Sam is embarking on a mission once more.
It's the same deal as America. The people here are all spread out, cut off from one another. We want you to help us bring the world together.
Sam, would you mind if I joined you?
Humor him. His knowledge and experience will probably come in handy down the road.
Yes. Really, Sam? Your buttocks?
Well, as for the amusing puppet, the element associated with the beach has been shown to have weird interactions with the flow of time and Chirillium, and given on we only see the puppet in the hands of two people with dooms who are much more resistant to chiral exposure, it could very well be that the damn thing is full of the stuff, or it could be a proxy like the holograms in the first game that suffers less frame rate when outside the chiral network. Puppet is going to be very most useful more than it looks. Because since we don't have Lou anymore to keep us company, we're going to need somebody to help us around within the environment. No doubt that puppet's going to give us some good information along the way regarding the environment. Hopefully he doesn't become too annoying, otherwise I'll find myself throwing him off the cliff.
As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network.
What's your role in all this? You're the commander, huh?
That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only. You brought America together, helped it be reborn as the UCA. But I'm afraid the Death Stranding is far from over. Humanity is still in danger, still on the brink of extinction.
Fragile ship seems to be able to exist in both water and space, and this mirrors the Death Stranding worldplay on tide, oceans, strandings, as well as Unger's desire to take BB to the moon. It is possible that the ability to transport between realities through the beach might have something to do with space travel, thus the importance Unger placed on in the first game, something we, the players, were never aware of. One thing is made evidently clear this time: we're expanding the chiral network and the connection of the world as a larger whole. We're trying to rebuild because Bridges is now no longer actually distributing the supplies that are needed to connect the world together.
We decided to call ourselves Drawbridge.
With the support of the Chiral network and APAS, humanity will be free from the need to move around. Bots are capable of handling deliveries.
He's alive.
It's also worth pointing out as well, guys, like the BTs that can connect themselves to the real world through the Chiralium, the thing we can actually notice is that someone's trying to stop Sam from distributing and connecting the world, perhaps. So if you notice that the androids seem to be behaving like the BTs within Death Stranding, as we know, which probably might be vessels for the BTs to connect to, or they could be behaving in a certain manner very similar to the BTs, which are just being used as vessels for whatever objective the enemy has. But bear in mind, these robots actually might be on our side, helping us distribute goods all around the world, so who knows, perhaps Sam was trying to shoot them down to free them so they can continue their work. Death Stranding 2 trailer, the first one in 2022, there are shots of people dressed in orange that are handling an Amelie staff. This is likely some form of cult based around the extinction entity. At the time, we wasn't exactly sure who was inside the coffin, but now we know that it's meant to be Higgs. One assumed at the very time that it was Amelie.
He called himself a ghost, but
We found a way back from the beach just so he could kill us.
he said he came back to get revenge on you and me.
Hey, brother. Did you miss me?
Higgs Monaghan, portrayed by Troy Baker, is revealed to be working in alignment with Amelie, who is the extinction entity. Initially appearing as an antagonist, Higgs is instrumental in orchestrating events that lead to the fractured state of the United Cities of America. He aligns himself with Amelie's plan to trigger a mass extinction event, believing it to be a necessary reset for humanity. Higgs is drawn to the chaos and destruction caused by BTs and the apocalyptic environment. His actions are influenced by the fascination with supernatural elements surrounding the Death Stranding and a desire to bring about a new world order. There's a very great possibility if Higgs is behind the disappearance of Lou that he most likely hasn't taken her out, and the very facts are that he actually wants to get hold of Lou for his own gain, for her immense powers, for her understanding of the BTs.
Ain't that something?
The character with the guitar in the trailer is likely a version of Higgs. Whenever or not it's not the Higgs fragile left on the beach near the end of Death Stranding 1 is up for debate, but it seems to be that Higgs is the individual in charge of the extinction entity cult, as he is wearing Amelie's Kwaipu and has signature Egyptian death mask. It's clear that the technology has advanced somewhat in the intervening years since Death Stranding 1, and it may well be the case that Higgs and the cult are a part of the APAC, as the soldiers flanking the masked figure seem to be robots, automated public assistant company. Why they turned on Higgs, I don't know, but one thing is for clear, it allowed Sam to make his escape from their clutches. Is it possible that Lou still exists in some kind of alternative reality and is still assisting Sam? Hence why he's still carrying the pod. Because how else is he supposed to see the BTs out there? He doesn't have the ability to even see them. Not of course unless he's got help from somebody like Lou. The thing is noticeable is it seems like somebody has been possessing the likes of these drones. We can actually hear a baby sound going and resonating through these characters. Is it very possible that Lou has found a way to be able to possess these characters to turn them against Higgs and allowing Sam to be freed? There is a very high possibility that Lou is the ghost within the machine. There's most likely there's a high possibility that Lou is still assisting Sam in some shape or form, even if it is in an alternative reality. Well, that's yet to be seen. So if we take you back to the first trailer in 2022, we can actually see within the footage there appears to be some BT hanging around Sam. You can even see the noticeable baby handprints all over the wall. One thing that seems to be very a common occurrence, especially within the second trailer too, is we see that there's some kind of spirit or entity following Sam around. In the tragedy in the scene, we can see that Louise sadly dies, but then she appears within inside the pod from which she was in. Almost like her spirit, her BT, her spiritual self has connected herself back within inside the pod, which still is there to assist Sam within the second game. which makes sense because looking at all the trailers we can notice that there's some otherworldly presence still around Sam. Sam and Lou are connected on a familiar level. Sam Bridges, the protagonist, is revealed to be the biological father of Lou, or Louise. The BB Bridge Baby program involves using infants such as Lou, who are born from the DNA of an extinction entities, to sense and detect BTs, beached things, and navigate the supernatural elements of the Death Stranding world. Amelie, also known as Bridget Strand, is the mother of Sam and Amelie, and she played the key role in the creation of the BB program. Sam's genetic material is used to create Lou, and the connection between Sam and Lou goes beyond the technological aspects of the BB program. The emotional and biological link becomes a significant theme within the narrative.
Something he said. You don't know a goddamn thing about Lou.
All right, Sam. Let's see what we can find on Lou.
If you want answers, you're gonna have to find them yourself. But the ones you do find, well, that pain you nurse will only get worse. Sam the man in the dark about everything.
This could possibly somewhat be a reference just before Lou died, maybe like something that Sam's looking back on, maybe a good memory that keeps him going. As we can see, Lou is here, clearly alive and well, and Sam gives her a little kiss on the head to let her know everything's all okay, which probably tells us this is something to do with Sam looking back in the past. But one thing I want to bring to your attention as well is the different hair colour. We notice that Sam doesn't have that distinctive white hair colour from the first trailer. There are many different theories why Sam's hair is grey, and one of them is because Sam is anemic because he has been donating his blood to make anti-BT grenades, which affects the oxygen supply to his scalp. Another one is because Sam is stressed or depressed because of the events of the first game, and his separation from Louise and Fragile. And also because Sam's been exposed to timefall, a rain that accelerates aging, which only affected his hair and not his body. But given on what we can see within the second trailer, it's most likely nothing to do with timefall, unless the game also goes back and looks into the past, and that could be a plausible theory for why his hair's not grey.
Don't forget, coming on this expedition was meant to help you find the strength to carry on. And you have. We all know you've got this. Now it's time to finish the journey, Sam. Please understand, Sam. We never meant to string you along.
That chrysalis, we found her inside. It was filled with a fluid that contained amino acids. One's identical in structure to the kind found in tar.
I'm sorry, there are amino acids in tar? As in proteins?
Of course. How else did you think that chiral creatures could emerge from it? Some have even theorized that the tar is a sort of primordial soup.
I was there. I saw her home. And it was a hellhole.
So we see Ellie Fanning makes an appearance for the first time in the Death Stranding 2 trailer, after being teased several times by Hideo Kojima himself. One thing that is clearly noticeable, as we can see within the photographs, is the very woman that is on the table seems to be awfully similar in terms of her appearance to that of Ellie Fanning. They share similar features, and their nostrils also seem to have very similarities. Could this be possibilities that perhaps there's several different versions of Lou, and perhaps maybe she has died many times, and perhaps maybe her true self is there in the flesh with the blonde hair, and perhaps in all these different alternative universes she exists in different appearances? A lot of theories have speculated since the years have passed that it's most likely that Ellie Fanning is playing the role of a grown-up Lou who's now an adult. There's quite a lot to digest in these trailers, because Kojima doesn't hold back when it comes to putting detail within these great video games. But one thing we can notice about Ellie Fanning is she seems somewhat worried, almost like she's trying to hide something that she knows that the rest of the characters do not. Plus we can see the distinctive white lines too that appear to be on both of the characters, almost like puppet strings.
It was filled with a fluid that contained amino acids. One's identical in structure to the kind found in tar.
I'm sorry, there are amino acids in tar? As in proteins?
Of course. How else did you think that chiral creatures could emerge from it? Some have even theorized that the tower is a sort of primordial soup.
I was there. I saw her home. And it was a hellhole.
The white strands symbolise a connection established by players who contribute to building the Chiral network. As you progress through the game, you connect various locations to the Chiral network represented by these strands. No doubt this is part of the online on-feature elements that we're going to be having to use once again when we're in Death Stranding 2. It was one of the most noticeable things within the first game that we all enjoyed, and added a very unique element to the multiplayer structure, just like Dark Souls where we can come from different dimensions to assist other players, which ties into the theories of the idea that these characters also come from different dimensions and alternative universes.
You see, after you left Bridges, I decided to do a little digging. Now, according to them, BB-28 was flagged for disposal and subsequently incinerated 4 years ago, long before you and Lou first met.
So according to reports and sources, it turns out that Lou was actually incinerated way before the likes of Sam actually met Lou. So which comes to the conclusion that perhaps maybe there's something a lot more to this Death Stranding story than we come to realise. That perhaps Lou herself is connected heavily to the BTs in many ways. The hint to be found at the end of the trailer show up quite prominently after the fight between Higgs and the ninja, and is seen eavesdropping on Sam's and Fragile as they talk about how she was rescued. With Lou's fate still being up in the air, we couldn't be surprised if Ellie Fanning's character turned out to be the adult version of Lou, with time travel shenanigans in play. Bridge Babies is the gap between the world of the living and the dead in Death Stranding. This is what allows Sam to see otherworldly entities and enemies. At the end of the first game, Sam is instructed to destroy BB-28 by taking it to an incinerator, viewed as a piece of faulty equipment. This is standard practice with defective BBs in the world of Death Stranding. However, Sam has formed a deep bond with Lou and decided to remove her from the pod. The game ends with Lou surviving and Sam holding her as a rainbow forms. While Lou was alive at the end of the first game, it appears something that has happened to her before the event on the beach. With this character, Ellie Fanning, we can actually see these white strands being projecting from her. This suggests that she has connections to the other side, just like Lou did, which could confirm that Ellie Fanning, the girl with the blonde hair, is definitely Lou. Theories actually speculate that they think Ellie could actually be his daughter, and it actually confirms one of the theories that some fans have included since 2019, that Ellie kinda resembles Sam's wife from the picture. My thinking also that was Lou is maybe experiencing something similar to Amelie's story, the separation of Ka and Ha, soul and body. In Death Stranding, Ha and Ka are terms used in the context of the Chiral network and the connection between characters. They are a part of the game's fictional lore and terminology, while the precise meanings are intentionally kept mysterious and open for interpretation. Ha in Death Stranding is associated with the body or physical form of an individual. It represents the tangible, corporeal aspects of a person. Characters in the game, particularly those with special abilities like Lou or connection to the Chiral network, may refer to the Ha when discussing the physical appearance or presence of the body. Ka in Death Stranding is linked to the soul or spirit of an individual. It represents the intangible metaphysical essence that transcends the physical form. The concept of Ka becomes significant in discussions about life and death, the connection between the living and the afterlife in the game's narrative. These could be the very reasons that do describe Lou's appearance within the game, how she can transcend both soul and spirit and in physical form. So it seems that Lou has died between Death Stranding and its sequel, or at least Sam believes that to be the case. Sam will likely start out on a quest for revenge for Lou, only to figure out that the reality is much more complicated. He still has access to BB in Death Stranding 2, although his BB pod appears to be empty. Whatever the case, Sam's BB is able to connect to a ninja robot and use it directly to aid him in combat. However, based on Higgs' response and a message from Deadman at the end of the trailer, there's a strong possibility that Lou is still alive somewhere. There's been a lot of speculation about whom the actors in Death Stranding 2 are playing, especially Ellie Fanning. Fanning appears only briefly in the trailer, peeking around corners as Sam and George Miller's character carry on a thrilling conversation about tar found in the chrysalis. It seems Fanning's character was then adopted by Drawbridge. Could this be Lou reborn or someone else entirely? Whatever the case, the Death Stranding 2 trailer has given players plenty to chew on. Whilst many of its mysteries are easily explainable with a little knowledge of the previous game, there are still many questions to be asked. While there will probably be further trailers between now and then on, most of the questions will likely go unanswered until Death Stranding 2 on the Beach 2025's release.
Anyway, the DHV Magellan's here to back you up. As always, you'll be the one leading the way to expand the network.
What's your role in all this? You're the commander, huh?
That's right. These days I'm fragile in name only.
Needless to say, the new terrains and environments in Death Stranding 2 look insane. They are looking way more dynamic now, with swamps, mountains and even weather effects. In the first game, rain just meant that the BB would be impaired and you would be more likely to run into BTs. But now we have avalanches and floods as well, and these can damage the structures that you built around the world. It appears that we're going to be expanding the Chiral network not just around the United States of America, but also spreading to different regions such as Mexico, and probably everywhere else. Well anyway guys, this is pretty much all I've got for today's analysis theory on the Death Stranding 2 On the Beach trailer. I'd love to know in the comments section down below if you've got any theories yourself regarding the matter. And once again, please hit that like button and subscribe, and for anything additional on Hideo Kojima's brilliant work regarding anything to do with Death Stranding. Well anyway guys, thank you for your time, and until we meet again.
You want answers, you're gonna have to find them yourself. But the ones you do find, well, that pain you nurse will only get worse. Sam the man in the dark about everything.